Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. And in today's session, I'll show you what is SAP BTP and how we can create an trial account, and the trial account how we can create a sub account and other details that is related to configure SAP BTP account for just starting the development in Business Application Studio. So I will start doing all this activity. I'll share some of the details what all these properties having in SAP BTP. So let's start. So first, whenever you'll have a create a trial account, you'll get this window after getting the login into your trial account. After moving into your trial account, you'll have to just move under the your trial account. Okay, so this is the your main trial accounts global account where you'll have to create multiple sub account for your different purpose. Or you can create for the different services, environment, anything if you have a requirement. So I am here creating my sub account under this trial account. I'm giving the trial account name, like I'm giving the trial account name is like I'm creating this sub account for the SAP UI 5 application development. Like you can give as per your requirement or as per your use the sub account names. I'm selecting the region for this account. Right now we have two regions available: Amazon Web Services for US East and the Microsoft Azure for the Singapore. So I'm using here selecting the US East because every region has some of these features availabilities, and always it is better to choose the nearest one from your current location. And then no need to fill any other details. If you want, you can put the description also. I'm leaving here the description details. I'm clicking on the create button to create this my sub account. Now my sub account creation is in progress. Just wait for a minute. It takes a little while. Meanwhile, I can show you this is the some of the properties, some of the details. Here you can put the settings here. That is like your certificate trial accounts, the account explorer, some of the basic details you can do. You can create here your sub accounts. You can get here the global account details, how many sub accounts are there, and other details. In the resource provider tab, like you are adding any resources, anything you required, so you can add your resources here by providing some of the details like Amazon Web Services resource and Azure resources if you are looking to add those services which you have already under your BTP trial account. If we are going to add some boosters, I'll share everything in detail in a later session, more in depth. So you guys understand here we have an option of the boosters, that is for choosing the some of the services that SAP BTP provide us. So if we require to add any booster services, we can start from here also. So it will configure to the our accounts. System landscape, we have entitlement options. In entitlement option, again we have an option to take any service agreements from the available SAP accounts. You can see that whatever the services trial account we have, that is automatically shared by the BTP in a global accounts, or how many quota they have assigned for each services. So you can see here that in my trial account, global trial account, we have multiple services and with their quotas. So you can see here. Similarly, if you want to assign any services, if any entity assignments, so you can check here if you have any entity assignments in your trial accounts. Now moving forward to check whether my sub account is created or not. No. Yes, now my sub account has been created. So I'm just clicking on the sub accounts. card, and it will redirect under my sub accounts, where we'll configure others part of our development environment, any properties or plot foundry enablement. Everything will do here in my sub accounts. You can see some of the properties is auto shared with me, auto created for us, for like sub account ID, tenant ID, subdomain, whatever the provider we have selected with the creation of sub accounts, that is also shared here. And as we are using the trial account, so use for production is not available here. Beta feature is also disabled in this account. Now what we have to do, we have to next move up, we have to enable this cloud foundry environment. So for that we'll just click this enable cloud foundry. Cloud foundry environment is we'll use in the later in the session for deployment of our developed application in SAP BAS Business Application Studio. So now we are configuring the cloud foundry, enabling the services here. So all these properties are standard given, plan is our standards in trial accounts, and this task name and the org name is provided by the system. Now we'll click on the create button, and it system will create a cloud foundry account for this sub account, or it will enable this source service for these services. And now the creation process is still in the progress. Yes, now you can see that the cloud foundry environment has been enabled, and now we have to just create a space under this cloud foundry environment to push our application later on this session. Okay, we are giving the name of the cloud foundry environment space. I'm just putting this UI 5 application deployment, because we'll use this space for the deployment of application. If you want to assign this space any to role with this user for this space, so we can assign, like we are giving a space for developers, supporters, space or space auditors. So I'm giving every access as of now to this user for this space. So now I'll click on the create. So a space will be created for us for deploying the application under this space for this cloud foundry environment. Here system has given us an endpoint also. So this will be used when we deploy the R application, and this endpoint will be used. Now we'll understand the whatever the services and are given by default by the BTP account, trial account under my sub account. These are the entitlement system has given with some quota assignment, how many services we can, or how many instance we can create for a services. So you can check here. Now we will move forward here to understand what services here, cloud foundry and other things. So we'll understand one by one everything. I'm just sharing a brief introduction of each and every services available. We'll cover the details in a later session. It's just a introduction part of this BTP Windows, so you can get an overview of these applications. Now in the services part, we have two options: service marketplace and instance and subscriptions. So in this services, we'll have service marketplace first. In this service marketplace, we'll look into all the services which is by default given to the or assigned to the our sub account from the marketplace, that is by default. So you can see there, these are the total services which is already given by or assigned by the marketplace to the our sub account. If I am looking forward to check SAP Business Application Studio is given in this service marketplace or not for by default. So I can see no, it is not given us as by default. So for that, if we want to use any other services which is not available by default in service marketplace for us to use, we'll have to move under the entitlement section. From the entitlement section, I'll have to configure my entitlement. Now I'll have to add my service plan. So I'll add this application studio from this service plan. So I'm looking for this business application studio. So when I'll search here, I can get the SAP Business Applications Studio. I'll select it. I'll select the plan for this. I am selecting here only that it's our account is trial account, so it is showing as a trial application. I'll check it out and click on the add one service plan for my sub account. Then we'll save it. System is processing our service plan configuration to assign it in our service marketplace. Wait for some minute. Yes, the system is now the services has been added in my entitlement for the sub accounts, and now I'll move forward to again in the service marketplace. Now again we'll search for the business application studio. So now you can see this service is available in our marketplace. So what we'll do, we'll create an instance of this service to use in our sub account. So I will click on this three dotted buttons and we'll get an option to create this instance for this services. So I'll click on create. So it is some of the properties like services and the plan, it will be auto assigned. We'll leave it as it and we'll click on the create button. System will create a instance for the SAP Business Application Studio in my sub account, so we can use it further for our application development. Wait for a minute. System will trying to configure this application studio services instance for our sub account. After adding these services, we can see that these services is already added under our instance and subscription section. So because we have get a subscription from our instance from this marketplace for this application, so now this is subscribed as a status. To open this application, we can directly click on this to go to this application, or we have an option to click on this, and now from here we get an option, multiple option to delete these services instance or subscriptions, or we can directly move into the application section. We'll come on this in a later session, later time in this session. Now again, this is the Cloud Foundry settings we will get because we enable the Cloud Foundry. So from here, whatever the space we created, we can directly check it here, the spaces we created, and this UI5 application deployment space is already created. We can click here and we can deploy our application with following the steps. Once we'll move under the space for the UI for the space for the application deployment Cloud Foundry, we'll again have some properties which we'll discuss later in the upcoming tutorial series. Moving back to this, we have some quota plan, all mumble details and others. Under the Cloud Foundry details, we have connectivities, status destinations, cloud connector option. We'll discuss each and every points here in a later session. I'll create a separate video for each, how we can access, how we can get these connectivity in our trial account or in our development. Okay, so this is the basics required for the configuring our BTP account to use the Business Application Studio. So now again, I'm going for the instance and subscription section, and I'll click on this Business Application Studio. Click on this to don't get this message again and again, and click on OK. whatever the activity I'm doing, this is the one-time activity for these setting the SAP Business Application Studio for each each sub account. So I have created a services and now created an instance for those services, and I'm configuring the Business Application Studio. So for the development, we'll have to again create a development space under the specific SAP Business Application Studio. So I'll click on the create development space here. We'll provide the development space name. So right now I'm putting the development name is like UI5 application development. Okay. So there is some validation it is showing. Okay, what the name must be start with a letter or number and may contain any alphanumeric character or underscore special character can't be used. So I think it is recognizing the space here. We'll remove the space from this one. Now it is okay. Now again we have an option to configure this development space. It is saying for if we want to configure the development space for only for the Fiori application, we can select here and click on the dev space. If we want to configure our development space for the low code based full stack cloud application, so we can select here and then create this development space. If we want to configure our system, the full stack cloud application development the BAS, we'll select here and then create the development space. If we want to develop the SAP native HANA application development, we'll select this. And similarly for the SAP mobile application or the basic application. Okay, now what I am doing, I'm configuring my BAS or my development space for the full stack cloud application development. So I'll select this. And if we want to add, these are these predefined extension which is already came with the installation with this configuration for the this development space for the full stack cloud application. These are the predefined extensions you can see here. But if we want to configure any additional SAP extension, so we can click on this. Like if we want to SAP UI5 adoption project allowed to extend SAP application adoption project or visual editors. If we want to use the Chromium browsers, SAP HANA calculation view editors, performance tuning, STL5 runner, STL5 application template, launchpad modules for multi-target applications like this. We can select any of these features if we want to use in our development purpose. We can hit select from here. I'm just selecting some of these extension. Okay, and then after I'll just click on the create development space. Now the system is configuring for creating the development space, and the services will be starting in the development space will going to start in a while. So wait, once system is rated, it will show from starting to running. You can also see yes, some of the information is showing as per the trial account. If I am using a trial account, so any development space that I have created, if it is not run in 30 days, it will be deleted automatically. Okay, so if we want to make it available, we'll have to always make it login in the disk development space in between these 30 days. If we move from more than 30 days, then this development space will be deleted under your trial account version. Okay, now our development space is already configured and in running state. So what we'll do once it get the status of running, we'll click on this development space name to move under the development space for our development. So it will open a development environment, that is Business Application Studio, for this development space. Now we can see actual look and feel of this application. You will find the application look and feel is somehow more on similar with the Visual Studio code. So wait, system is preparing for this development environment. In the starting, once we'll configure this development environment, it will take a little while, but in the next time it will take a more days in compared to current time it is taken. So now you can see the development environment is open for this development space, UI5 application development. The application studio is open, and these are these windows we have. So thank you so much for the today's session. And as of now, and in the later video, we'll share how to work with this Business Application Studio, how to create a project for UI5 application, and other details related to UI5 application, configuring the project and creating the project and other things. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope this video will help you to understand SAP BTP platform and the Business Application Studio configurations and BTP account sub-account creation process. Thank you so much. Please subscribe or like channel if you find that any benefit you get from this video.